I mean, really. I mean, you're already on a computer. Most people are on a computer all day. Oh, 30 seconds. Click on to somebody's address, and it's like, hey, Mac, I'm at work, and things are going good, and I'm going to go out for some drinks later. Hey, do you want to come along? Or, hey, maybe I'll call you later, or maybe I'll write you a little later, or an ongoing conversation that just doesn't end. I got a few minutes now. How's it going? Gonna go out for coffee and whatever, and I got to go take my son to the ball game or a soccer game. And by the way, he scored 3 goals last game, and blah blah blah. And I only had a minute to talk here, but my next chance I'll throw you another line, because you can do that easily by phone if you feel so. But why is it so much harder to write a few lines and then maybe an hour or two later? Because they know you're having some issues, and there aren't many people to talk to, and they don't want to call you up anyways. So maybe you could spend like a half an hour and have like your 10 responses already done. So when you do get a conversation going and it's going back and forth, and you know you're not going to have time later to do it, but it'll take you nothing to copy paste something you spent a half hour earlier developing 8 pages worth of material, just so you could like keep a communication line to somebody that needs one, because we're easily forgotten. And without the communication, like, even if they know what troubles you have, they're just not going to think that you want to call back, or because you're not calling them back. They don't understand that you can't, or you have great difficulty doing it, or whatever. But if you can keep an open thing going back, even if it is like 2 lines at a time, when we're reading it, or I am, it's like, wow, my friends wrote me back 3 times today. And if my other 2 or 3 friends out there every once in a while would pop me a note here and there, I'd be like pretty enthusiastic to grab my computer first thing in the morning and go read it. If I want to say, hey, did anybody send me an email? And I wonder if Jason or Steve or whoever, I wrote him yesterday and I asked him a couple questions. I wonder if he responded. And just get you to that dull mode of depression where every day is boring and mundane, and you can't wait till everything goes dark so you can finally go to sleep. And where are my pills, and so on. So I want to zone out, and this is all crap. When you have something interesting happening, little inspiration comes out of it, a little excitement. You're definitely picking up someone else's day. Anyways, again, that was with Jason, and we're pretty close. And I'm just happening to get to a point where I'm re-engaging in conversation, controlling myself. It's a cool awakening for me, because it's been a while. Again, I don't want to leave my place. I'm in here now. This is my place. This is a different angle for you to look at where I live, because I kind of want to let you know that on that yesterday when you were looking at me from the other angle and on the couch, that's pretty much what I do all day. Is I sit on my couch, got my computer in front of me, type some blogs, poems, whatever I can, or whatever, draw a picture. And being that we are easily maneuvered into a very depressive state, you got to surround yourself with things that'll keep you going. And if your computer has a part which is people are writing and are expecting responses, and you want to respond, and you have lots of time to do it, and do it well, and do it in a manner that would not suggest that you're just unable to. And that's just like one thing. So imagine first thing in the morning you get up, emails to go through. Cool. You're not bored right away. You got a half hour, an hour, 2 hours to invest some time into responding, and you read them and then you respond. Read, respond. It could be like half hour, could be 5 hours. It could be like so overwhelming the guy only gets gets through 1 of them or 2 of them or 5 of them. So when you don't get a response back for 5 days, don't get it in your head that you don't the gentleman's not interested in responding, might not be able to. Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's sick. Maybe he doesn't want to respond. You know, we get all these emotional ordeals going on where it's, I don't want to talk to anybody for 3 days or 5 weeks or 2 weeks. It happens to me now where I close my doors and don't want to answer my phone and for a week. I mean, people are calling me like, hey, let's have a coffee or whatever. I'm like, nah. Son's inviting me out to go play some games with his friends. I'm going like, nah, I don't want to go. And there's nothing that I have better to do. I'm sitting here on my couch watching television. It sucks. So, yeah, if there was a couple emails to respond to and that becomes part of your day, fills your day, some interesting stuff to do, then so be it. When your room, I mean, if your room is like bland and it's just one color like white and there's nothing in it, your chair, and it's empty, it's not a very creative atmosphere or an atmosphere that would be enthusiastic to one's needs, which are the brain needs some stimulation. You know, it gets enthusiastic when exposed to interesting things like pictures and bright colors and if everything's black or everything's white and there's nothing interesting around, then zone out and watch television. Your brain will just go like, oh yeah, there's nothing here and I'm going to sleep now because I don't want to be thinking about nothing, so nah, or go take a sleeping pill because I'm so bored or whatever the deal is. But instead, if you took a little time or if your friends took a little time or whoever's looking after you, ask some questions, make you redecorate, put some new furniture in and out of your room so you're not, there's something new in the room and you're focused in on it, or hang your art. I mean, don't be afraid to display it. I put all mine up. Some of it's cool to me. I mean, I drew it, and sometimes look back and think it's really cool. I mean, but for someone else's point of view, they might look at it as like it's comic art or it's comic or art that a 2-year-old can do or whatever. But for you, colored. I mean, I showed you yesterday. Behind me was all these drawings or pastel things. A lot of them are very bright. Some of them are like kind of evil looking and weird. And as I'm still a very visual person and I'm not much of a reader, I can easily study my own picture, because when I'm drawing the picture, because we're so always emotional, you can almost like put some of it into the picture. So when you're looking at your own picture, and when you were drawing it at the time, you're like angry or upset and using a lot of black and a lot of dark, deep colors, because you were emotional and engaged, and you found yourself in a very creative moment, and you wanted to draw or color something, which doesn't happen very often. Then when you re-look at it, there's a very good chance that it's going to draw out of you a very similar response. I mean, you drew it out of some passion or some emotional setting or basis, and so when you look at it, it's not going to be a simple piece of art that's just on a wall that you can walk into a store and walk by and say, hey, look, there's a line on a piece of page or whatever, or it's a picture of a giraffe, uninteresting and mundane and boring. Instead, if you're looking at it like, wow, look at that, that was pretty cool. I remember that day I was not feeling well, or I was feeling good, and it was sunny out, and because I could remember the bright page beaming me in the face, and all these colors. I remember them; they were awesome. I was using blue and dark blue and combining them with the red. And look at that blue and red. And I'm gonna go. Hang on, so I'm gonna look at that closer again. Like, wow, look at that effect. That's awesome. I blended all together. It was like, wow, look at that. That's my cool art. I mean, people don't do art and just throw it away. They usually want to, look at it or sell it, give someone else a chance to look at it, because it was done with some type of purpose. I mean, People just don't draw things just because. Hey, I think I'm just going to draw something. Whatever. Throw it on the ground and stomp on it. I think I'm just going to stomp on the thing I just drew. Hey, Daisy, my dog, go piss on my page that I just drew on. I don't want to see urine on it. Usually it's not quite that way. I mean, what you do is it's an accomplishment. You finish the picture. I think I talked about this earlier. And you completed it, and it's done from you, and you might not be able to think clearly, but hey, man, you can draw something. It feeds into that whole mentality of, being creative and not letting your brain get parked on a TV. I mean, behind me, there's a bunch of pictures of my kids. So when I'm sitting here on my couch and I'm just looking forward and I look straight up, guess what I'm looking at? My kids. They're wearing red hats and they got happy faces, and they're your kids. So you're trying to remember back when those photos were taken, if you took them, or if you were present, and what the day felt like that you were that, and what were you looking at with the kids, and how happy they were, or where'd you go for dinner afterwards, or it becomes all a very creative thing. A picture's got a million things attached to it. I mean, why do you take a picture in a day? It's to bring you back to an experience, a feeling, or something for the day. You're there, and the lighting's all perfect, and the green grass and whatever, the ocean in the background. It's a very inspiring moment, and the reason why I want to take a picture is you want to capture that inspiration so that you can look at it another time and relive the perfect moment.